To kick things off, we want to share a short animation with you about the OneMap platform.
At BP, our vision of leveraging digital location information from any device, anywhere, anytime is here, and everywhere throughout our business. It's a vision that integrates the latest technology with geospatial information, taking it to a whole new level, enabling us to find and connect physical and digital assets, to drive important insights through sophisticated analytics, and discover new ways BP can deliver energy worldwide. How do we do it? OneMap, a geospatial platform that brings people, process, and technology together through advanced analytics, visualization, integration, reporting, and automation, all in one place. OneMap democratizes our data across the company by removing barriers to access, silos, and bottlenecking. Now anyone can use the most accurate and up-to-date data at any time. With OneMap, every user can leverage thousands of solutions or create and publish their own to meet specific business needs. From the field to the office, onshore to offshore, OneMap allows BP to turn geospatial information into real business solutions. It's just one example of how digital transformation is allowing BP engineers to spend less time gathering data and more time analyzing insights. And it's just the beginning.
So now you know a bit more about OneMap. I want to share with you how we did this, how we kind of accelerated our efforts, how we integrated across our business, and how we continue to innovate to make sure we can meet what the business needs for the future. Digital is at the heart of everything we do. It's one of the core strategies in our business. We started an effort a few years ago to modernize and transform. We realized some of the biggest opportunities was doing better at digital. To achieve this, we've created an entire new digital organization. All the way at the top of the house, we have a chief executive that looks after digital and technology. Under this person, we've created a digital organization, and under that digital organization, we have operations and DataWorks. I sit in the DataWorks organization, and our goal is to make sure our data and our systems are ready to serve the business. DataWorks is a key part of how we deliver this strategy. Without strong data, without information available to users, it's very hard to use these new platforms and apply these to solve problems. So we really want to make sure the best data is available, but still give our users the ability to load their own data and work with project data as needed. This is about connecting people and data. It's about connecting our infrastructure and our digital technology. And it's really about enabling some of the new technologies that are possible with data science to be able to leverage larger volumes of data than we ever could before, to be able to ask more questions than we ever could before, see more patterns than we ever could before. So how does this, or what does this mean for location? In an upstream business, location is at the heart of everything we do, from finding the energy resource to producing that energy resource to getting that energy resource to market. We have a huge diversity of business processes, and location applies at some level in just about every one of them. So we want to make sure, whether we're moving or collecting data at the field, at the sensor, all the way to our digital twin, that information can move up and down this life cycle as this data is used in the business. We want those edits and the maturity of that information to improve in both directions as changes are made across the system. From a location perspective, that's what our goal is for the company. So how have we accelerated this? How have we gotten to where we are today? We, at the very beginning, decided we're not here to solve a particular location solution. We're not here to build a tool or do a project. We're here to provide a platform for digital location for BP. What that meant was our focus wasn't on a particular business problem. It was on solving the technology and data problem to get digital location enabled for everybody. We achieved that with OneMap by basically allowing any use case. Some of our teams just use this for data management, and that's it. It's a system of record for some data. It's a system of reference for other. It might have project information for others. Whatever they needed for data management, we wanted to make sure the system was possible. Next, some teams use it just for analytics, traditional buffering proximity to quite advanced analytics, routing, and even big data. Third, we have the platform interaction, and we still print maps. We still need paper from time to time, but we're doing a lot more web maps, mobile applications, other ways of interfacing with this information. People need to be able to have a way to use and display and share this information. If you put all three of those use cases together, then you get entire solutions, entire workflows. We built a platform to enable these independently or together to put out that full solution. And the users get to decide how they do that. The teams get to decide what the value is for their business. Another part of acceleration was keeping the platform modern. So we made an agreement right up at the front with IT. We're going to upgrade once a year, every year, default. And IT had trouble with this. They're like, well, no, we only upgrade if we think there's a reason. And we said, no, we're going to upgrade every year no matter what. Put it in the budget. We also had room in the budget for 2 patches if necessary, just in case. This platform is kind of big. Esri is absolutely key to our platform. It is our core. But we have over 200 applications from roughly 40 different vendors in this platform. And it's constantly upgrading, updating, changing. And we keep that current so that what our users see in the market, what our users can use at home, they can also do at the office. As you can see, as we've progressed our core platform, our user growth has progressed, our capability has progressed, and the system continues to grow and evolve with what the business needs. The last part of acceleration is really about enabling your citizens. Citizen dev, both at the application level, and citizen dev, both at the data level. Letting users get in and use your system without artificial barriers. We don't have governance up front. We don't have permissions you have to go and ask for. Anybody in our organization can just start using it, just like they could go download a free app off the web and just start using it. We took an approach that people are using data already. People are already trying to solve problems and answer questions. By giving them a new system, I'm not making that worse. I'm actually giving them a system they can still do that in, but at least now I can monitor and see what they're doing. I can see what data sources they have and maybe capture some of the good stuff and elevate it and maybe help clean out some of the stuff that may not be best practice. Because we left it wide open, we were able to grow quite quickly. So she mentioned 50 portals. We're actually just over 60 now, spread around the world. We just passed 16,000 users this week, which is just pretty amazing. People just keep coming to the platform. We have over 1,000 citizen dev apps in production and thousands of web maps being used every day. This is because we've left it open for people to decide how they need, what helps them the best. It's your geologists, your geophysicists, your engineers, your operations people. They're the ones that stay awake at night trying to solve their business problem. They know their business best. And if you give them a tool that they can come in and use to solve their problems, you'll be surprised just how creative they get. It's a pretty amazing thing to watch, and you'll see a huge acceleration. And as that acceleration happens, the value of your platform and the value of your data as an asset for your company grows, and it grows quite quickly. So I definitely encourage you to let the users free. To help enable that journey, you have to integrate. Not everything is in the geospatial platform. We have other systems in our company. And so as the citizens started pushing the envelope, we realized we needed to create some integration patterns to other systems to make it easier for them to build the solutions that they want. This is an example from one of our operated by other fields, which means that we don't have a lot of our normal technology in place. We're just getting data reports back from our vendor. The challenge, or from our partner, the challenge that the user had was anytime there was a problem, they had to go to 5, 6, 7 different places to find all the information about a given well to determine what might be causing that problem. In this example, they've brought it all together in one interface. This is an ops dashboard. I can come in here and select any well of interest and immediately see all the information about that well, see my geographic view, see my production profile, photo of that well, and what the well work is that's going on right now at that well. That's a lot of information in one place, but they went even further. If I dig in, I have all my well test, any event of the well, saturation information, PLT. At the bottom, that's kind of hard to see with this resolution, but I have all the well engineering diagrams, all the logs, access to core photos if they exist, even the process diagrams that shows me where this well sits in the system and how it's connected into the infrastructure. So in one dashboard, I have access to everything I need to know to answer a problem about that well. This was built by an end user. The first version of it was 2 days. Because we had a platform, because we already had his geography in that platform, we just had to help him integrate with a few other systems to make a display like this. Once we did that the first time, we could then enable many other integrations for similar platforms for other citizen developers. Another area we do a lot of integrations is in pipeline. As an upstream operator, we have a lot of pipelines around the world moving products, and we need to make sure those pipelines are running safely and efficiently. At the top left, I have a full view into the geography as well as the engineering information on my pipeline, all of my inspections, any anomalies, any information I need to understand that pipeline. The bottom left, we've integrated with our cloud storage of GeoVideo. So we have just literally petabytes and petabytes of subsea video as well as surface video, and I can zoom to any of my pipes in the world, open this widget, and start playing video I have over those pipes. The top right, we've integrated the Esri stack, which is our traditional 2D view of aerial photography, engineering drawings, soil information, together with an open source 3D viewer for our LAS files. And as I move around in the 3D space or the 2D space, all of these panels stay in sync. So I can quickly run across in very complex areas and see exactly how my pipe is interacting with the crossing or exactly what's going on in the field. The last is down here at the bottom, and this is more about integration with partners. We have a lot of engineering firms we work with. We want to know what they're building for us, what the status is. So we're now reading quite often the as-built information, the under construction information in as a live web service to our portals, feeding back our static infrastructure to them, and then we're able to put together views that show us exactly what's on the ground already, what's still under construction, and what's planned. Last area of integration is around operations. Real-time data is everywhere. If you're not making use of this within your GIS, I really encourage you to look into it. We were already tracking people and cars and boats, but they were often just tracked for one particular purpose and one particular application stack. We're now exposing that information across the entire geospatial stack. This means I can start to build more informative real-time portals for our business. In this case, this was built by our logistics team. The problem they were trying to solve, boats are very expensive offshore, and if they need to move a part between a platform to a platform or from shore to a platform on short notice, they need to know, do I have any deck space on these boats? The deck space on these boats are very expensive. You can see we have 4 boats live right now, 2 are offline. These are live video streams where they can see immediately how much stuff is on the boat. They have spreadsheets and PDF reports that tell them how much is on the boat, but this allows them to visually see quite quickly. They can then jump to that boat, they can jump to a drill center, they can see weather conditions, they can see inbound helicopters, everything they need to know to make a decision to move product around in the operational landscape. We're not just doing this in one region, we're doing this across our entire business. And the impact of these have been massive. So you look up here and you see they all look very different. And our IT guys struggle with this a bit. It's like, how can you possibly make these dashboards all different? They should be the same. Well, we didn't make these. Our citizens made these, and they made them to represent what they needed to see, what's most important to their business. And when your citizens make these, they buy into them a lot more than some corporate pushed standard dashboard that they're supposed to use to solve a business problem. It's really amazing to see the uptake in the use of these when they are the ones that made it. They are the ones that then are marketing it and pushing their users to use it and making sure they're aware of what's possible. That has driven a whole different set of use cases in our business. Very, very powerful. In here, we're mixing all types of information from vessel tracking, of course. We've got inbound helicopters on most of these. We tie into our OSI Pi, so we're pulling sensors and temperature off of rigs, off the seafloor, et cetera. So effectively, any live feed we need is available to us in a dashboard. We're not just using this in the operational landscape. I was in Melbourne last week doing this same presentation with Osri down there. We have a team in Melbourne who looks after our retail in Australia, and they talked to us about the fires. And they said they're really struggling tracking these fires against all of our retail assets. So this was on a Thursday afternoon, I think it was. And so we're like, okay, well, let's see about doing something on that. We do a little bit of tracking like that in the US. Then we were out for dinner that evening. We're talking to one of the Esri guys. They're like, oh, I know this guy over at this department. Let me get you a name. An hour later, we had access to the first couple of states worth of fire data. 8 hours later, we had this dashboard up and running. About 4 hours after that, we had all the state's data processing into it. So every 15 minutes, this updates. It's tracking all the fires. Across the bottom, you have all of our retail sites in what we call class of trade, so I can see the difference of the sites. I can zoom to any site, see if the fire is under control, out of control. I can see the conditions around the fire. And just this morning, we started streaming in updated imagery that's anywhere from 3 to 7 days old. So now we actually have photos of the fire footprint, and we're tracking this across all of our facilities. This is important to run a safe business because we don't want a fire going into an active retail site. Fire and gas don't go well together. So we definitely want to take precautions if a fire is approaching a facility. But we also look after our people. So as soon as we finish this, HR is on the phone saying, I want the same analysis, but I want to see where our people live compared to the fires. So we have this exact same dashboard running now with all of our people's homes and where the fires are. So we know if we need to activate our HAT team to go out and assist them with evacuation or lodging or clothing or whatever they need to protect their families. So great use of the technology. Innovation. If you do GIS as a project or if you do data management as a project, you've kind of already failed. These things are lifestyle choices. It never stops. The technology is moving too fast. Your data is constantly evolving. The use cases you're going to have on your data are going to continue to evolve. Once you give access to information and tech to all of your users, they're going to dream up things you didn't even know to ask. So you have to innovate constantly. These are 3 themes we use when we rolled out our platform. First was about freeing the data. And this is really about letting all the data loose. The stuff that needs to be protected, it can, and we have security on those things. But the stuff that doesn't have to be protected, get it out there. Let people know it exists. Even if it's just project data to start, a couple people use it, then you improve it, then it becomes corporate data, and then it becomes controlled data. Data grows up. But if you never let people find the data in the first place, it always just sort of stays project data. It may not get better. It may not actually serve a wider audience. We want the data out there so everybody can find it. Free the technology. This is about the citizen dev on the technology side. Don't hold back your tools. Let the users use them. In the old days of just desktop, that was pretty daunting. The first time you open ArcGIS Desktop or Pro, there's a whole bunch of buttons. A lot of people won't take the time to figure that out. But Portal offers a whole new capability. With Portal, you can give everybody a very simple interface with 0 training, and just the base maps by themselves is already a step ahead of where they were. Then you put some of your corporate data in there. Maybe you subscribe to some vendor data in your industry. You put that in there, oh, they're ecstatic. Then you can start to solve the challenging of project data and data that's evolving. And if that makes it in there, then you've got a complete system. And what you can grow if you achieve that and let the people just use it, it's really impressive. Last is free the mind, and this is really enabling everybody to do this. Again, back to the citizen dev, you're hearing me say that several times. Let these folks free, let them start using it. You will need to supply some resources. I'll talk about that in a moment. But there's so much more these folks will dream up and solve if they have access to a platform and can do this with your information. Another area we're innovating, and this is really about our move to the cloud, is mobile. So when we first deployed OneMap, we were on-prem, and the difficulty of getting from mobile devices to on-prem systems was quite a challenge. And so we did it in a few cases, or we leveraged AGOL when we had something critical, but it was still a bit clunky, pushing and pulling data, et cetera. As we go to the cloud, we've gone through the process with digital security to get our clouds opened up so that we can actually have direct access from any mobile device to any of our portals in the company. And this has just created an explosion in use cases that we never even expected. We knew there'd be use, but it's gone so much further than planned. In this example here, we've got a firefighter. This is a BP firefighter out in the field with Collector, collecting his own data about the fire assets he has available to him. Think about how much more that fire department trusts their information if they're the ones collecting it. They started with just a very small data acquisition effort. they've now mapped everything. They have the roads, they have the overheads, they have turning radiuses. They know every vehicle they have and everywhere it can go and what kit will be waiting when they show up. The way they can now respond to a situation is incredible. And it's all through starting with collecting that information in the field. On the far right, we have a more traditional type use case, just users going out and doing topside inspection. It's still nice. Survey123, pretty powerful tool, but not really different. But here's another Survey123 that's quite innovative. Not really spatial in nature, although injuries on the onshore field do have a spatial bit. But they took a paper-based system for how people get injured in the field and turned it into a Survey123 app. Why is this critical? In our world, we often have people working in confined spaces, a few hundred people on a platform, and if the flu starts spreading or there's a stomach bug going around, you really want to know as soon as possible so that you can deal with that. On the paper-based world, sometimes the doctors didn't see that pattern until days to weeks later as those forms got faxed back to office and somebody typed in the details. Now, as soon as an incident is registered, it's on a dashboard in the doctor's office. He has full view of what's going on across the field. Really powerful use case, and the value they've seen from this in data quality, speed to information, and speed to action to deal with a potential problem in the field. Very, very impressive results. Another area of innovation, big data. We can handle so much more data than we ever could before. Data that we were already tracking or already using for one use case now serve in many other use cases. So in the top example here is our Oman operations onshore. This field's in operation plus still under construction. It's expanding. So we have about 3,000 vehicles in the field at any given day. 3,000 vehicles on BP maintained roads in a situation that can go from clear visibility to zero visibility just with a wind gust. Lots of potential for accidents, lots of potential for problems. Typically, when an accident would happen, everybody's pointing fingers. I was over there, he did this, what happened? Many different vendors working for us, so several different IVMS systems, several different reporting capabilities. Now we pull all that data together in one system. We have one view of all vehicles moving, and not only are we watching for accident investigation purposes, but we can start to create very interesting products like almost Google-style street maps in real time on our own vehicles, on our own roads. That allows me to make better decisions on how I move product around, better routes I might take if I'm moving a rig, all types of insights I couldn't have planned for before. Excuse me. The allergies are getting to me here. This has also allowed us to be a bit predictive in probably where we'll have road problems. Now when I have enough traffic in an area of certain types of vehicles, there's a better chance I've generated potholes, there's a better chance I've generated damage. I might actually start to prioritize where I go out to do repairs. The bottom example is similar, but this is offshore. So we're tracking all the vessels in the world in real time. This system, as real time as we can get the data, this system is processing about 35 million pings a day. We got over 15 billion records in this system, and I can query it in just under a second. It's really impressive what's possible today. With this type of information, we were using it to just track where my vessels are, but now we're gone a step further. We're asking that questions. Not where my vessel is, but where it's going, where's it been, what's its schedule. Because of that, I can start to look at other vessels, where are they going, where they've been, what's their schedule. From that, I can start to uncover trends we weren't looking at before. Lots of opportunities when you open up the platform and continue to innovate and keep it modern. To help support that, you have to learn. Learning is a key part of this. If you don't like learning, you're probably in the wrong industry. This technology is changing so fast. We have 200 tools. Some tool is updating almost daily. So we want to make sure people have access to information and can learn and support in their role. So we roll out these enterprise sites, which makes it very easy for people to find the information they need to do their job, whether they're doing data science, whether they're on the citizen developer track, or whether it's our GIS professionals or people in the business who just want to learn the generic GIS skills. All of that information is available to them right here. They can click. It's in every single portal in the company. We push these out using Collab and other technologies. And it's just a way we help support the growth of the platform and the skills needed to sustain it. So just to wrap up, we're investing in our people, we're investing in our technology. We're seeing this as a platform that helps us achieve our digital goals. We want our information available to everybody so they can be using it to solve problems for our company. And opening it up in that way has allowed us to get so much more value back from the platform and enable so many more business processes that we wouldn't have been able to do just as a central team. Really appreciate your time today. Hopefully there were some useful bits here, and hope to get to talk with you when we're out in the area downstairs later. Cheers.